Let your body to settle down itself. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma friends, when we start this meditation practice, in the beginning, you have to be very clear how we're going to practice this. So, in Buddhist meditation, there are two mental cultures. One is called samatha, mental culture, tranquility state, and another one called vipassana, insight meditation. So, samatha mental culture help us to tranquilize our mind, calm down our mind, and keep our mind in one pointness. And vipassana meditation help us to recognize how things come to be as they are. So you have to be very clear, without having tranquility mind, you cannot recognize how things happening within yourself, even with the outside. So that's why in the beginning we have to calm down our mind. Another thing is, using your own thoughts, you cannot recognize that. Why? Because thoughts come out of the experience, and the thoughts very limited. And whatever you understand through thoughts, you understand and become very limited. But here we're trying to get into the bottom of the very nature. And that is why you can recognize the Dharma. Dharma means the very nature as it is. So for that, if you cannot use the thoughts, then how are you going to do it? So we're going to introduce mental object, and you little by little keep focus your mind to that mental object. So in Pali this is called nimitta. So the nimitta means primary object, mental object you taking to work with your mind. So, and different people take different kind of mental objects, but here we're going to take the inhalation, exhalation as our primary mental object. So once you have it, there is another name called kamatahana. So the very meaning of kamatahana is kind of like a workplace. So you work with your mind to develop your concentration using your primary mental object. Not just by thinking yourself, or not by whatever other experience happening to you and during this time period. So now you have a primary mental object. If the mind go here and there, you bring it back again and again and again. So then that object we call nimitta. And you observing the inhalation, exhalation. So that is where your workplace, not with anything else. So then that is become your kamatahana. So then you have to remember. So as example, just think that you have a workplace. So you have a garage, or you have another workplace for carpenting. So like that, anything. So then somebody asks you to do some work. So then you tell, bring it to workplace. So like that, now you're trying to calm down your mind. So then what you have to do, bring your mind to your workplace. So what is your workplace? Your sensation of your inhalation, exhalation. So once you start with the mind to stay in the one place, what is happening? So it start to settle down slowly, little by little, little by little. So in the beginning, maybe it will go here and there, that is very natural. But slowly, little by little, it will settle down. And why it is important for you? Because the mind become busy, mind develop the current with the greed, hatred, and the delusion. When the mind become busy, when the mind having too many thoughts, so mainly that all the thoughts related with the past and the future. So that is what happening when you think, when you have a lot of thoughts. Thought itself come from the past. Maybe it project and it jump towards the future, and that is what we dreaming or planning or thinking. So that is what happening. In this very moment, in the present moment, to experience this moment, you no need thoughts. So when the mind able to experience the present moment, in that very moment, mind not jumping to your past or your future. When the mind not jumping to your past or the future, there is no way the greed, hatred or the delusion arise. Because always to arise the greed, hatred and the delusion, you need the past or the future thoughts. When the mind dealing with the past and the future, that itself we call samsara. So in the first level, what you have to do, you bringing down your mind to the present moment. And that once you come to the present moment, mind become calm down, relax. And so in that relaxation, that comfort, that one pointness, you use to observe deeply, to recognize in the very moment and whatever the experience come to you. So if I stop there for a moment, there is an argument going from the ancient time to today. There is an argument going. Some people say you don't need a nimitta. That means you don't need anything to calm down your mind. You don't need any primary mental object. Just you close your eyes and then you directly you go to tranquility state. So if it is possible for you, it is okay. You can go into it. But the thing is, in case if you cannot do it, what you going to do? So that is why we giving a primary object to stay with the sensation, or stay with the bodily sensation, or observe the thoughts. So like that you get a mental object. And from there, once you get into the sensation, and from there in the beginning you recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end, this is entire continuation. And some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. So like that, you recognizing the very nature of inhalation, exhalation. Once you recognize that, from there, So once the mind calm down to one point, once you get into the tranquility state, from there, you go to vipassana level. When you go to vipassana level, you don't observe this is inhalation or this is exhalation like that. You drop all the names and forms. So you come out of all the categories and you just stay with the sensation. And stay with the sensation. From there today, what we're going to do, just observe the very sensation arising, existing, disappearing. So it is an experience yourself. And what you experience, let go yourself, release it. Because itself you see whatever arise as sensation, itself it disappears. So even there is a place you feel pain or itching or tightness, heaviness, if you observe deeply, what will happen within few seconds, it will go away. So once it go away, why you hold by mind? Why you trying to categorize it as a pain? Why you keep repeating it, or why you bring it through the words even though pain anymore not longer with you? So as example like this. So when you practice meditation, you have your knee start to get pain. So you experience it. For the moment it is truth. So that is the conventional life. For the moment, this everything real. We cannot deny it. We cannot say, no, no, you don't have anything. No, we have to accept it as a pain. But the thing is this, and you recognize within few seconds, it disappeared. If it is disappeared, and after meditation, maybe you talk with your friend and then telling, I was practicing meditation. After a few minutes, my knee got hurt, but now okay. So why you carry that in your mind as information? So that is collective nature, because you saw itself the pain arose and itself it disappeared. That is the truth that you have to recognize. Sensation with the inhalation, exhalation arise, exist for a moment and disappear. You accept it as inhalation, but once you recognize it disappeared. In the vipassana level, there is no inhalation. In the depth, in the conventional level, we say it is an inhalation. But in the vipassana level, there is no such a thing called inhalation. Same thing with any pain. So any thought, the same. In the moment, maybe it is real. In the moment, maybe you disappointed, angry, sad, worried for the moment. But you observe it. And happy, joy, comfortable, you observe it. But then you see it slowly disappear. In the depth of that experience, there is no such a thing called happiness or the joy or the pleasure or the sad, worry, unhappy. Why? Because itself it disappears. And if you able to experience that within your sensation, inhalation, exhalation, and through the sensation, the whatever you experience, you accept in the conventional level, but in the eternal level, there is nothing. So whatever you experience, you accept in conventional level. This is inhalation, this is exhalation. But in the vipassana level, in the eternal level, there is no such a thing called inhalation or exhalation. In the vipassana level, you have only one experience, that is change. So once you are able to get into that change And you will see in the bottom of that change, there is a selflessness. So that's how we're going to practice today. So in the beginning, just yourself, remember, if you, once you sit down, if you want to change the body, first, without reacting quickly, just get a mental object, mental image. And then you remember, I'm going to change my body to this posture, and then slowly change. If anywhere you want, if you have any pain or itching or like that, if you want to move your hands, so before you move your arm, just imagine yourself, get a mental image, and then do it. If you want to drink water or go to restroom, first get a mental image. So like that, without just acting, keep a gap in between the action and the thought. So that's way you will see your tranquility state, you can continue little by little. Another thing is, when you go to the Vipassana level, always remember, be completely free, and no thoughts, don't allow anything to involve you in your experience, thinking. Don't try to do anything. Why? If you try to do, you get tired, you get boring. And as example, even observing inhalation, exhalation, sensation is nothing to do with you. It's a bodily action. Just allow it to happen. Why you try to do it? If you try to do it later, you get tired, you get boring, disappointed. So just you rest and observe. And that way you can enjoy. You feel the calmness more relaxed, more comfortable, more rest. So like that, don't try to involving with the unnecessary work. Stay out of the inhalation, exhalation. That it is not your business. Keep your own business, man. So your observing is your business. So stay with that. Don't try to involving with the maintaining inhalation. It's nothing to do with you. So remember that, and little by little, with the fully effort, and not to get tired, but at the same time, because you practice yourself, don't be too comfortable and don't be too lazy, don't be too sleepy. So like that, put the effort, but don't put too much effort. Why? Because if you put too much effort, that also make you tired. So this information, I hope this will help for you. And now we're going to start a little bit. Just give a try yourself and just be friendly yourself. That is important. So always remember, you're doing it this to develop yourself and not to gain anything, or not to go and beat somebody. It is you not going to go against you. So just start to practice yourself like you work with a friend. And remember, this is not a military practice. You have your complete freedom, but at the same time, remember to follow the protocol if you want the result. So your right palm on your left, neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. Scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, May my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply inhale, exhale 3 times and get into the primary object. And allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen itself. And bring your attention to the sensation. So while you're sitting, your workplace is the sensation. Don't imagine, don't try to make anything happen. Don't have any wish. Completely be free from thoughts. If your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again. Let the experience to happen, recognize it, and recognize its own existence and disappearance, and don't clinging to it. Bring attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through your compound, village, city, state, country, world, and this universe, and as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. Mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one, out of anger or ill will, wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side, downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, As ordinary people, we all are experience fear, anxiety, depression, sadness, worry, disappointment. This is very common. And we all are struggling to find a solution for this. And if you look very carefully, from where this arises, how this happen? Because sometimes you feel comfortable, happy, joy, relax, and then suddenly this your own mind start to attack your mental condition. So why this happen? The fear we have in psychologically, there are different fears. But when it go to the bottom of this all fear, the very source, very seed is one thing. What is that? So why in your life, why you get fear? Why you are afraid for something? Why you get disappointed? The very reason for this is we have a mental image regarding our own existence. And the self-centered mind, I am. So this is me. You have a mental image regarding you. When that mental image becomes stronger, remember, as a result of that mental image, the fear, anxiety, depression, sadness, worry can bounce back. And also once a while, the joy, happiness, satisfaction also coming. But mostly we experience the very danger of this is the more than the happiness and the joy, satisfaction, when the fear, anxiety, depression, or the worry bounce back and we collapse inside. That is should not happen. So the collapsing yourself mean you mentally become more disappointed. So how this self-image became so strong? The bottom of it is the avidya, or the ignorance, and recognizing there is something exists without changing. To get into that bottom level, you have to have very sharp and clear mind. But in the ordinary level, I will explain it to you in another way. So you have an image regarding you, who you are. This is me. That image happened from your past experience. So you collected all the past experience inside you, and as a package, now you representing yourself. Then you think, I was like this. I was like this. I used to be like this. And this all today hold your mental image. And not only that, once you have that collected memory related with the self, it has another result, and it always look forward, it should be like this, so I should be like this, I should be like this. So you had the mental image and you collected that, and now as a result of that, you have an image, I should be like this because I was like that. And that is where the deeper the fear arises. That is where the fear, the unsatisfaction, worry, disappointment, that everything arises. But in between this, from the present moment, if you able to see, you was like that, but you change. From there to today, you had the journey. If you able to recognize that journey, you will not have fear regarding future. Why? Because you always know it always not going to be the same. That what you experience today in this very moment, you will never going to have in this samsaric journey anymore. It doesn't matter, eons by eons you come back. Why? The very condition itself change. So your experience come out of the very conditions inside you and outside you. And mostly inside, because the outside conditions you cannot recognize. You will never understand what is this world. And you will never feel what is this world. Then that as example, you will never feel that your husband or wife sound or your children sound. You will never feel your family members' voice. You will never understand that. You cannot do that because it's like this. Why it happened like that way? So our consciousness will become very limited to sensation. Beyond sensations, you don't know anything. That's why when people going to do the surgery and sometimes they numb and no sensation and they can do anything. So like that, there is a limit in your consciousness in average ordinary person. Your life, your world is very limited to sensation. If there is no sensation, you don't know about it. So then the husband or the wife sound arise, and just listen this very carefully. It can make you very crazy sometimes. And don't try to get into argument now. Just listen yourself and try to be very clear. So when the sound arises, so now your husband or wife or children or your friends or somebody say something. And when the sound arises, it should come to your ear. So then you should have the ear. Now the voice come. So voice should come through the air. When the voice came out of the mouth, the moment by moment, it's like the waves in the ocean. Be slow down, just try to catch it. When the voice come out of the mouth, the millisecond by millisecond, when it come to your ear, it already changed. It already changed. And then it need to touch with the ear and go with all the mechanism inside the ear. So to experience the sound, you need the ear. Then according to the condition of the ear, whatever the sound come, going to mix these two together. And as a result of that mixing, the ear consciousness arises. So then how are you going to experience the original sound? Because you experience your ear consciousness, it happening inside you. Your ear consciousness has power to grab the whatever the sound itself come, and the whatever the ear, when these two things come together, whatever after that, in the right way, that this all three things happen together at once. But ear consciousness itself cannot arise and wait till the sound come. So then the sound come, and even once the sound come out of the mouth, it already gone. And then it's, so as example, in between the person and you, if you take a blower and push too heavy that air in between you and the talker, so the person who talk, and then the sound become more delay sometimes, and maybe you're not going to get the exactly right words. Why? Because it need to come through the air. And then what happening when it come to your ear, these two things come together, it mix. And as a result of that mixing, the ear consciousness arises. You recognize that ear consciousness, not the sound. That's why when according to the condition of the sound, sometimes you cannot hear some people. So then how about the ear? The same. So the eye, the same. The ear, the same. And how about the nose? The same. Then how about the tongue? The same. You will never recognize the pure itself organic taste. You're not going to recognize that. You cannot do that. And you will never recognize your partner's bodily sensation. No, you cannot get it. And as an ordinary person, it is another mystic way that you have to come out of this, the mind. Because we are very limited to this ordinary life, the conventional life. We are very limited to bound to our self experience. So we enjoying it, we go with it. So we have a history. I was like this, and then it create your future. You should be like this, so I should be like. So that is where the fear arises. But if you recognize this moment by moment, moment by moment change, and there is no one to experience anything. When there is no one to experience anything, there is no fear. But we hold it to this. Your mind need to be so clear to at least understand what you experience is not this anything outside. It is so this all inside. You eating a mango, you will never just think little bit. You eating an apple, you will never have you cannot experience the real apple. Why? Because once you bite it, when it need to go to saliva, and when you chew it in your mouth, it already changed to something. And then your tongue consciousness need to arise in that very moment. So you recognize according to tongue consciousness, not the apple from outside. You cannot go beyond this sensation. We bound to it. That is the very limited of this conventional life. But there is a way. Once you come out of this conventional life, without biting apple, you you experience. And without words, you can have a conversation. So without aroma, you can have a smell. Without bodily contact, you can feel the person. Without thoughts, there is a way you can understand. Look how beautiful it is just by hearing. If it is possible, it is possible. You have that all the capacity. But we brainwash from the childhood, from our ancestors. We brainwash. They feed the knowledge, the culture, tradition, and we bound to this everything, and we go with the whatever the thought arise in us. So this meditation, in the first level, you come to tranquility state, and from there, and slowly, little by little, if you go deeper through the sensation without bound to sensation, there is a way you get into this universal experience connection. And there is no fear in that place. Why? Because there is no self-centered experience there. And in the end of that, once you recognize that, and in the bottom of that everything, there is no even the experience also. That is where you get into the liberation. And you know, these children play a game, hide and seek. So everybody used to play this game. And Buddha also one time played this game, hide and seeking. And during that, there was a Brahma. In the heavenly world, there was a Brahma called Baka. So this Baka had a long life, eons by eons. Even he don't see his birth. And he cannot see he getting old, or he don't see his death. What is the beauty of the human world? We can see our birth, and we can see that mean we know when we born, and we can see the death also. So this is a very good time period for us. It is not too long and it is not too short. So that will help us to understand the very nature of this life. But if this life become too long, what will happen? We don't see how we came to this world. And then if you don't see the people dying, you don't understand we also going to die. And then you just go and suddenly you will disappear. But this is a very good time period for us as human beings, averagely 180 years, 70. So somehow we can see our birth and the death, and in between this life, we can see the people, the born and die. There are some existence they cannot see. Why? Because it is that long. So this Brahma thought he is eternal, immortal. Why? Because he don't see he getting old. He don't see anything that disappearing. He always see kind of like everything exists. And you get into wrong view, believing I am immortal. This is it. There are in the heavenly world, there are the gods used to believe like that. So then one day Buddha saw this and knew this Baka had the previous merits to understand the reality, understand the Dharma, but because he believing and getting to this wrong view, he misunderstanding. And then with the compassion, Buddha thought to help him and take him out of this wrong view. So then he visited the Brahma world. And then the Brahma welcomed the Buddha and asked, Venerable Sir, what is the reason you visited me? So is there any help that I can do? So then the Buddha told that I saw your mind and I saw that you believing that this everything eternal, this everything immortal. And by hearing that, the Brahma was little bit shake, because how you can see my mind? But still he didn't believe. And he told, no, I am not going to listen to you. So is there any way? Then the Buddha told, I saw this entire universe better than you. There is nothing permanent. This everything change. So don't get into this wrong view. Then the Baka was disappointed and told, no, I am not going to believe that. How you can say so? So then the Buddha said, okay, let's do like this. If you think this your world is immortal, and if you see this everywhere, and you go and hide somewhere, and I will find you. If I find you, you have to believe what I say. So the Baka Brahma thought this universe is belong to him, this everything immortal. And then he accept the challenge. Oh, that is good. I can do that. I can hide in a place that you will never find me. So then the Baka Brahma became a bird. And with all the birds, then he get into the bird form. Now he hide. So the Buddha start to seek him. And the right away Buddha call, and just imagine, if you get into a bird form, how ordinary person can find you? So then the Buddha that came to close to that it is and told, Baka, I recognize you. You are in bird form. Then he again loose. Then still he have doubt regarding the Buddha. Then the Buddha said, okay, you can try. Go and hide anywhere. Then again he became a honey bee. He get into the honey bee form. And if just imagine how if someone get into honey bee, how you can find? How many millions honeybees in the world? So then the Buddha went to this honeybee and told, why you doing this? Going around this flower? You are the Baka. Come out of this form. And then the second time also he lost. So remember, these children playing this hide and seek. It is a very intelligence game. And that is how you develop your wisdom. So this is that's mean that if the person cannot hide, if somebody find him, that's mean you cannot carry your egocentric life. So if somebody find you when you hide, that's mean you lose. So if you have idea, you can find a place and hide and no one can find. So that's mean you have an ego, I can do this. But when someone find you, when you lose the game, it help you to come out of the egocentric mind. Another thing is, another way, there is no way in this samsaric journey no one can hide. from anything. So, and another thing is, if you look for the most beautiful, then the most highest valuable thing is the wisdom, Nibbana. If you look for that, you can find it. So somehow the third time, the Buddha gave another chance to Baka, and then what the Baka Brahma did, he went to the bottom of the ocean, the most deepest place, and he hid under the sand. And then the Buddha said, Baka, what you doing this under the sea? You are the Brahma, and in this beautiful world, you can live very comfortably. Why you hide this under the sand? That by hearing that, he was so ashamed. And then the Buddha told, if you don't believe me, I going to hide if you can find me. So then the Baka Brahma told, accept the challenge. Okay, I know everything and I know everywhere in this my world. I know every place in this universe. And he's sharper than this Hubble telescope. And then he challenged the Buddha and told, you can hide anywhere and I will find you. So then the Buddha disappeared. The Baka Brahma started to look everywhere. He couldn't find the Buddha. And then he got tired and give up. And then he accepted the Buddha. And not only that, asked, Venerable Sir, where you hide? Then the Buddha said, I didn't go anywhere, Baka. I was on the top of your head. So mostly we look here and there and we don't look ourselves. We don't look our own head. Sometimes we try to count everybody and everywhere and we see all the mistakes and going here and there and we have a lot of arguments. But we don't see our own ignorance. Look from the top to bottom, everywhere in the society, you see that. From president to this ordinary person, from the millionaires to beggar, this everywhere, we don't see our own ignorance, what we point out to others. So the same thing happened to the Baka. And the Buddha said, I was top of your head. And we see this very simple, he couldn't find, he couldn't see. And then the Buddha came to the final conversation and told, this everything in the universe related with the heat, motion, liquidity and hardness. The very nature of the heat, motion, liquidity and hardness is changing. If there is anything change, it's not belong to us. So don't hold it to anything. Now you are enough mature to understand, you have seen your life, you have seen how everything changed. You went to school, you used to play games, you used to do sports and you did a lot of activities as a child. And young age, you used to be so strong and you used to do that things. And then you became matured and then you elders and you got married and had children and family life and you had money and everything. And now today, reminding that everything and as a package keeping in front of you and you looking at that package and believing this is me, I used to be like this, I used to be like that. So remember, if you used to be, today it is useless. Don't count on it. Only you get only the fear. There's nothing else you will get. Don't count on your past and believing I was like this, because of that I want to be like that. No. So that is the one of the main reason when we get old, we're going to die and come back, because we see our past and we want to repeat it again and again. It's a deeper current. And with that current, when you die, that's why we come back. So then you had the life, you enjoy it, and you finish it. You're done. It's changed. It's gone. Today you have a life. It's completely different and new and fresh. Be with it. And tomorrow you're going to have something else. So just do your best for today and be the best version of you today. And when you go to sleep, just completely finish it. If you wake up tomorrow, if you have a luck to wake up tomorrow, and when you wake up, remember, start to be completely new with the fresh new mind. Start to work. So that way, if you go day by day, you can apply this practice whatever you do with the meditation and arising, existing, disappearance. You letting go in that very moment and you move forward. And when the day comes for you to end this all, there is no one to end. And when there is no one to end, there is nobody to become. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mahate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ettavata chamme sampatam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu. Sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.